my name is Amanda Pierce. I am the Teen Service Coordinator at the Peter White Public Library. And today, for First Chapter Friday, we're going to be reading This Is My America by Kim Johnson. Got some weird light going on, but I hope you enjoy. And I'll be reading Chapter 1. Ready, set, go. Time runs my life, a constant measuring of what's gone and what's to come. Jamal's 100-meter dash is a blazing 10.06 seconds. That's how my older brother got this monumental interview. I'm not thinking about Jamal's record, though. I'm thinking about Daddy's time, 7 years, 2,532 days served, to be exact. The running clock above my head has been in place since his conviction. That moment branded me. Mama gripped the courtroom bench to keep from collapsing as each juror repeated guilty. I looked to Mama for an explanation. The empty look in her eyes cried out for the answer, death. Since then, it's tick-tock. Here at the TV station, Jamal rocks steadily in the guest chair, watching highlights of his track career with the producer during a commercial break. He glides his hands over his fresh barber cut, his mind more likely on the camera angles that will best show his waves. We're true opposites, despite our 1-year difference. He is patient, calm, thinking, living, and loving. He's everything on the outside I wish to be. Bringing people in when 9 times out of 10, I'd rather push them out. That's why I hate that my mission crosses the path with the biggest day of Jamal's life. 5 minutes and 37 seconds until showtime. As the commercial nears its end, I don't have to look up to know that Mama's leaving the makeup room. The clink of her heels echo past a crew of engineers and radiates as she circles around Jamal to the guest seating area on the side of the studio stage. She enters only like a proud black mother can, hair all pressed up and curled with a sharp black skirt suit that fits her curvy figure. Mama's been name-dropping everywhere she can about the news anchor Susan Turek showcasing Jamal as a top athlete. I expected a live audience, but the set is a small studio and crew. I look out to Susan Turek's interview desk with the backdrop image of Austin, the state capital. They've pulled out a white couch so there's space for my family to join Jamal at the end. Mama smiles at Jamal and then at my little sister Corinne, but I swear she throws some silent shade my way. Her not-so-subtle warnings have been going on for the past month. She knows I want Daddy's story to seep out, but Mama has made it clear that there is no room for Daddy on this occasion. Not because she doesn't love Daddy, but because she wants Jamal to have a clean slate at college as Jamal, not Jamal, the son of a murderer. If it was a few years ago, I'd understand, but Daddy's got less than a year. No extensions, no money for appeals. While time uncoils itself from Daddy's lifeline, she's forbidden Susan Turek from mentioning him. The show agreed not to talk about Daddy in exchange for Jamal showing up, and if Susan tries anything, Mama says we'll straight up leave. Mama stands by me and leans near my ear. Tracy, ain't it something to see your big brother's hard work paying off? I say, even though I'm hoping the journalists and Susan can't help but fling open Pandora's box on live television. Mama won't be able to stop it, and then our truth can breathe free. The fight for Daddy's appeal won't be in vain. People will finally hear the truth and wake up to the fact that Lady Liberty has failed us and failed so many others. Angela Heron floats into the room with the twinkle of excitement in her eye. Her long blonde hair bounces with an unstoppable future. Angela's a new production intern for the Susan Turek show, even though she's only a senior in high school, weeks away from graduating with Jamal's class. It's no coincidence that her dad owns Heron Media back in Galveston County, where Jamal's worked the past 2 years. She'll always have it easy. I've worked my ass off to be in the running for the school newspaper editor next year, so just maybe I can go into college internships early. Meanwhile, she's already advanced to a position most college grads can't even get. Nervous? Angela asked Jamal. Nah, Jamal taps his foot as he tries to play it cool. You got this. Angela hands Jamal a sheet of paper. Here are the questions that Susan's asked other guests. Thanks, Ange. All the other interviews have a common thread of compelling American stories. A boy who battled cancer, an almost career-ending torn ACL, and a girl hiding her gender at football tryouts. Each story is a tearjerker. I'm hard-pressed to believe that they'd leave out what's at the heart of Jamal's dedication, what he's had to overcome. I glance over Jamal's shoulder and skim the questions, looking for my window of opportunity. Tracy, Mama says, give your brother space. Hater. I step closer to Mama. Angela goes over a few pointers. Before I can ear hustle more, Angela's boyfriend, Chris Brighton, enters with a large box of donuts that appear tiny in his hands. Chris is still built out from football season, his strawberry blonde hair tucked under a Texas A&M hat with his jersey number 27 stitched on the side. He'll be playing there next year. Just like at school, he barely acknowledges us. Excuse me, Angela goes to meet Chris, and I catch her mouthing, "What are you doing here?" Chris places the box of donuts on the table. Angela gently touches his arm like she's trying to be sweet, but the way her mouth is turned down, it's obvious that she's irritated at him messing up her workflow. Can I have one? Corinne asks, looking at the donuts. Mama agrees, and Corinne tiptoes past Angela when she reaches in the box slips. Watch it! Chris snaps, snatching the box. His square jaw is tight, like he can flick Corinne away with a nasty glare. Jamal jumps up. Chris's ears get red as Angela shushes him, pointing to the sign flashing on air. Sorry, Corinne mouths and takes a bite. Jamal joins us, his arms now around Corinne, who's dressed in a stripy yellow church dress. I chose a simple black A-line dress. My hair is an updo, sleek edges, and all the curls out all like a crown was placed on top of my head. The camera cuts away from Susan and the play of a video of 4 college athletes they've spotlighted in May. It's starting, Corinne nudges Jamal before clapping like there's a live audience. Crumbs fly everywhere. Jamal chuckles and joins in with Corinne. I can't help but let a smile slip and clap softly because Jamal deserves this. The last of the footage includes Jamal's records rolling up the screen. He's compared to competitive world athletes with Olympic gold medals. Then they show Jamal's last track meet of the season, where he's beat the boys' high school track record, tying the long-standing 1996 college record. I feel like I'm there again. The crowd cheered so loud it shook the bleachers. You knew something special was about to happen. Jamal dropped to his knees when the scoreboard finally confirmed the new record. You know what you're going to say? Corinne asked. Do I know what I'm going to say? Jamal bends down to Corinne so he can whisper, get advice from me, baby sis. Don't say, I burst out a laugh and then cover my mouth when Mama nudges me. That's all you got? You say, a lot when you're nervous, Corinne shrugs, and then takes Mama's hand. You hear her, Tracy? Jamal elbows me. I don't say, a lot. You kind of do, I smirked. Yo, you wrong for saying that right before my interview. You know what's going to be stuck in my head right now? Yep. I say, Corinne joins in. We sound like a chorus at the side of the stage. Knock it off now, girls. Mama wags her fingers at us. Angela cuts between us, gesturing for Jamal to follow her onto the studio stage while we take a seat off stage. Jamal gives her a wink when she wishes him good luck. Her cheeks go pink. He can always make someone feel special. Daddy says he's got a heart of gold. I just wish he wouldn't throw it around so easily. I watch Chris in the shadows, white privilege at its finest. Today he's exhibiting classic toxic masculinity. I can tell Angela doesn't want him to be here, but he's too arrogant to think differently. He acts that way in school too, like he could get away with anything since his dad is sheriff. Poised and ready, Susan Turk faces the camera marked NBS1. She looks like all the white newscasters they have at the station except for the rotating weather girls of color. Susan's dressed in a white blouse and a gaudy necklace of choice for the day. Her silky black hair is coiffed in a bob around her fake tan skin, and her pink lipstick matches the color of her glasses. The crew shifts into movement. The spotlight zooms in. The producer gives her a hand signal near the teleprompter. A green light blinks, and Susan plasters on a smile. On cue, the music begins. My heart now beats at a rapid pace. Reporting live here at NBS World News. If you're tuning in, we've been highlighting top scholar athletes across the country. I have had the pleasure of introducing a local star, the #1 track athlete of the state of Texas, soon to be the high school grad, Jamal Beaumont. Jamal's dark brown skin shines as he flashes a wide smile. He sits lean and tall in a closely tailored dark blue suit, white shirt, and a red tie he saved up for so Mama wouldn't have to worry about the cost. The camera loves him. My stomach twists because I need the interview to bring attention to Daddy's case, but it will take away from Jamal. I hope he'll forgive me once he realizes what I'm doing. To bring Daddy home alive. When did you start running? Susan leans forward and rests her hand on her chin, the same way she begins every interview. You're gonna have to ask my mama because I swear I came out running. Mama laughs, nudges me, and then mouths, it's true, it's true. I chuckle. Mama's loving every second of this. When you're not running, you're also working at a local radio station and have your own Thursday evening show. Yes, I do love it. I'm planning to major in communications and media. One day you could be interviewing me. That's my sister's things. I'm more behind the scenes audio engineering. Brains and brawn, huh? He gives her a modest smile and Susan eats it up. Do track stars run in the family? There's usually more than one, am I right? Jamal swallows, stopping for a millisecond, but I'm sure the only ones that notice are Mama and myself. The men in the family have those genes for sure. Jamal's talking about Daddy. Before we moved to Texas, Daddy had his own track glory days in New Orleans. His name kept his hometown business afloat in tough times with customers wanting to help out. After the flood, all that was lost. People left and the local history was forgotten. Life was still hard a decade after Hurricane Katrina, so when Hurricane Veronica hit, we left for good. We evacuated to Texas, but Daddy never ran again. During his trial, they said it was his speed that got him all the way across town so quickly. Daddy's fast, but he's not Superman fast. I watched Jamal nervous with how he'd handle this. Well, they must be proud, Susan said. He is. Jamal hesitates after he says he. He looks directly into the camera, and I smile at his secret way of acknowledging Daddy, and his ability to sidestep additional questions is impressive. Jamal's not going to let this interview go down like that. I'm both proud and nervous. I bite my lip, regretting that I tried all week to persuade him to use this as an opportunity to talk about Daddy's appeal. Now Jamal's guarded, each word carefully crafted to avoid Daddy coming up. One thing I love about highlighting you, Jamal, is that you could have chosen to go anywhere in the country, but you chose Baylor. Everyone thought you were going to Tracktown, Oregon, or North Carolina. Why Baylor? I'm a mama's boy, plain and simple. Got my 2 sisters over there, Jamal points to us, and I can be home in less than 4 hours if I need to. What can I say? I'm sure your family loves that you'll be close. Let's bring them out now. Angela leads Mama to the stage where she sits next to Jamal. Corinne squishes in and I end up at the end of the couch. The hot light beams down on me. I'm dizzy now with one thing on my mind. The thing that everyone here is thinking about, the thing that hasn't been said but that's been boiling near the surface. Let's meet your sister Corinne. Corinne's round face immediately goes blank. Her eyes bulge like they're about to pop. How old are you, Corinne? 7. Do you love your brother? Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be real sad when he goes off to college. I bet you are. What's special about your brother? He's fast, and when he packs my lunch, he always leaves me notes. I'm going to kind of miss that. What kind of notes? Nice stuff. Corinne pauses. Like if he knows I'm worried about something or trying to be funny, like, smile, I'm watching you, big head. Susan laughs awkwardly. It's okay if he says big head. Corinne shoots me a warning. Only he can say that, though. I chuckle because she's told the world her nickname from Jamal, and now he'll have to triple his notes to her. Or on Mondays when I'm real sad, he'll always leave me a note like, I love you more than the sun. I keep all those. Her voice has a heaviness to it no 7-year-olds should have. The thing that goes unsaid in our family. That missing piece of us that keeps us down because we only see Daddy on an hour on Sunday or Monday. Tracy, Susan tries to stay upbeat. You're a year behind Jamal. Are you also an athlete? College plans? I used to do track. I pause, looking at Corinne, and then go for it. I'm a school journalist and organize Know Your Rights workshops in the community. Mama digs her fingers into my side. I have to grind my jaw together to keep a smile. Susan's face is expressionless before she turns to Mama. Mrs. Beaumont, what do you think about your son? I'm proud of Jamal. Anyone would be lucky to have him. He's respectful, dedicated, charming, and there's no one like him. I've definitely picked that up. Susan rests her hand on her chin again. I bet your husband is real proud too. He is. Mama gives a tight smile. 3 minutes left on the show clock. My chest floods like I'm being filled with water. Time's almost up. Susan has opened the door to talk about Daddy. I know that what hurts Jamal will hurt Mama, but we all want Daddy home, and I can't let this opportunity pass us by. I speak before Susan asks Mama another question. College seems so distant because I've been focused on helping my father's appeal. Mama parts her lips, and a small gasp escapes. Jamal flinches, and it's like a wave has come crashing down over the entire interview. Jamal, Susan turns to my brother. Is this what influenced your decision to stay close to home? Jamal's expression goes blank. Susan keeps going when Jamal doesn't answer. Because your father's in prison? I watch him, hope this pushes him to speak up on Daddy's innocence, but he's staring past the camera like he wants this to be over. Not too long of a drive from Baylor to see him or your family. Susan uses her hands like there's an actual map. Jamal stays composed. I couldn't find a reason in the world to go somewhere else. I wouldn't want to miss any time with Pop's mom's Corinne. And Jamal gives me a once-over. And my dear sister Tracy. Shame runs through my veins when Jamal singles me out. I can imagine, Susan says, you don't get that time back. Every week counts. She's wrong. Every second counts. Now, your father, how long has he been sitting on death row? Sitting. Why do people say sitting like he's waiting patiently in line with a number in his hand? Yes, ma'am. Jamal shoots a look at Mama. He's starting to flounder. The crew is buzzing, scrambling at the breach of contract. He's been on death row nearly 7 years since his conviction, Jamal says. Inside, I scream out in joy that he doesn't skirt the issue. It must be painful. A lot of pain felt from him missing in our lives. Jamal pauses when his gaze is caught on by Mama. I'm sure there's a lot of hurt, of course, from the families who lost the Davidsons that night. Daddy's innocent. Why did he say it like that? But I take all that and I train. I run, I care for my family, I work, I live my life freely because my dad can't. I don't need to be at a big track school, not when the things that matter is putting in the work to help take care of my family. That's something I can control. No one can beat me. Jamal gives a sly smile, slowing down the rapid pace of talking. In my head, everyone has something to lose, but in my head, I can't lose because I am growing with each race. Your dedication is a rare trait, Jamal. Thank you, ma'am. I don't let things get me down. That's why I'm so glad you highlighted me and we can focus on my accomplishments. Jamal smiles, unaffected by her prodding questions. I almost believe him. It must be hard, though. She puts her delicate hand on her chin. Your father's death sentence, having to start over from New Orleans, and then the challenges in Texas. Texas is my home, and I plan on keeping it that way, Jamal keeps his fake grin. It aches to watch Jamal hold his composure. He's avoiding the topic as best he can. Mama Scowl says that she'll slam it shut. She'll slam it shut if Susan tries her. How long does your father have on death row? Susan's voice goes low. 267 days. I say it because knowing how long Daddy has left is the air I breathe. Time to live, time to appeal, to turn back time. Mama whips her head at me. The camera follows. 267 days, Jamal repeats. That's why I want to keep our family together and focus on the good. Yes, Susan touches Jamal's shoulder this time. I can't imagine how hard it must be having your father in prison, convicted of double murder. Unimaginable. Our father is innocent, I say. He's been trying to appeal, but we don't have the financial resources to prove his innocence. I have been writing to Innocent X to take Daddy's case. They represent people wrongfully convicted and sentenced to death, especially those in underserved communities, people who can't afford their bail, let alone an attorney with a team of expert witnesses to prove their client's innocence. After 7 years of letters and no response, I'm getting Innocent X's attention today. If your father is innocent, I'm sure the system will work out. No, I say, the system has failed us and continues to fail us. I don't know much about the details of his case, but we can talk after the show. Since we have reached the end of the interview time, Jamal, what would you? She's cutting me off. I can't let her take this time away from me. I haven't said enough. I stand so the camera is forced to focus on me. Do you know how many men have been put to death who were later exonerated post-mortem? I pointed to the camera. What about the conviction rates by race and class? The system works if you have the money to defend yourself. Backstage, the crew creeps to the edge of the stage. My legs are jello underneath me. I'm close to collapsing right here. So I form a fist that fills me with courage. My father is innocent, and we have the evidence, but not the legal support to appeal his case. There are hundreds of thousands of cases like his. Innocent people sentenced all the time. Susan's spider-like eyelashes blink rapidly. Her legs point towards Jamal because she knows that this should be his interview, but the journalist in her focuses on me. What evidence do you have proving your father's innocence? The producer throws his arms up in frustration. He was home all evening, I say. You were young then. I'm sure it's hard to remember. I barely remember what I had for lunch. That's not something you'll forget, ma'am. A small town with a double murder, everyone locked in the memories of where they were that day. He was home, Mama interjects, even though I know she's angry at me. This interview today is about Jamal, but I can't sit here and not defend my husband. He is innocent. Then who do you suspect killed that Galveston couple? Mark and Kathy Davidson were murdered, but not by my father or his business partner, Jackson Ridges. Other suspects have been recently identified, I say. Mama and Jamal's expression turn hard. I know Mama doesn't like it when I lie, but we need to catch Innocent X's attention. Unfortunately, the Galveston Police Department refuses to look into them, but we will find a legal team to represent my father's case. When they study what we have, we'll prove his innocence and the real killer will be arrested. As soon as the interview is over, Jamal jumps out of his seat. Tracy! Mama's got her hand on her hip. Susan Turek steps between us. Along with the producer, she blocks my view of Mama, but not before I witness how upset she is. This is unacceptable, Mama says. We had an agreement. I stayed within my parameters, Susan said. Your daughter. Mama puts her hand up to meet me as I draw in closer to join the conversation. Her gesture is instantaneously sobering. This won't be the time or the place to talk to Mama. She won't listen to a word I say. I want this to be a moment to celebrate because what I did, I'd planned, but to everyone else around me, this isn't a celebration. I'm standing in the rubble of a building I blew up. I follow Jamal, who is now in the hallway with Angela. Jamal's shaking his head and Angela is tearing up. Her boyfriend, Chris, paces as he waits for Angela on the other side of the studio. Jamal, I reach for his shoulder, but he brushes me away. My cheeks are hot. Jamal, I'm sorry. Forget it. Go to Mom. His voice is expressionless. I mean it. I'm sorry. I knew you'd make it go the way you wanted. Just wish you wouldn't have done it like that. His response isn't what I expected. I wanted him to be upset with me and shout and yell, anything to help me figure out how to approach him. But he doesn't budge. Give me a second, please, I start. I don't want to hear it. Jamal walks back to the studio. I turn my head to find Mama, and Angela stands in the way. You're so selfish. You think you know everything, but you don't, she says. My father is innocent. And I turn away from her. It's not just that. It's the same thing with the school paper. Always about you and what you want to do. Think about how much Jamal must feel. Angela shakes her head and then storms out the exit door. The Texas heat sucks the air out of my lungs until the door shuts behind her. Mama is no longer on the stage. The only person left is Corinne, and she hasn't moved from the interview couch. She's crying. Jamal gets to her first. A sob builds up in my throat watching them. Jamal sinks down to his knees and wraps his arm around her waist. She stands awkwardly behind him, wanting to help, but knowing I did this. Corinne puts her arms around Jamal's neck, her tears wetting his collar. The hurt I forced onto my family knocks me backwards as I look down at Corinne's searching eyes. Everyone is angry, Corinne says. Jamal brushes her hair back. Sometimes people do things that hurt because they think they're helping. I shut my eyes and I hope it's not a lie. And that was chapter 1 of This Is My America by Kim Johnson. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, we have this book at the Peter Witt Public Library, and you can give us a call and check it out. Have a great day.